Thank you, Charlie, for joining us to discuss our journey with Carosh Compliance Solutions. Your perspective as a client will offer a unique view into the value and effectiveness of our consulting service. Let's explore your experience. Firstly, can you briefly introduce yourself and your role in your organization?
My name is Charlie Jones. I am the president of OxBow Data Management Systems, LLC, a small software company dealing with medical information for state and tribal organizations.
Great. Why did you decide to engage Carosh Compliance Solutions to support your HIPAA compliance program?
I had met with Roger at a meetup, a scheduled meetup regarding HIPAA compliance, and we sat and talked for a little while. And I knew from our perspective that implementing and improving our HIPAA compliance policies and instructions was going to be important to our future successes. And after speaking with Roger and just building a rapport and discussing some of what our needs and requirements would be, felt that Carosh should be a strong fit for what we were trying to accomplish.
Great. What other companies did you evaluate in your search for HIPAA consulting?
I don't remember the names of the companies. I had two other companies that I did do research on, some larger, some smaller, so that I could get a nice a comparison for what their strengths and weaknesses were, what services they provided versus what you provided, and how that would how I could evaluate and make sure that that was going to be a good fit for us.
Do you feel as if you have received practical guidance on implementing and sustaining your compliance program? If so, how did you find that information to assist you?
I do feel that way. I have done my own research as far as what we were going to need and what the high tech and the HIPAA requirements entailed. So having researched it and I'd been working on doing a lot of it ourselves. We had HIPAA compliance in place, but I knew that we needed a stronger set of policies, a stronger background to help with the assessments and the risk assessments and those pieces that were going to make it more strong and more credible to our customers from a third party standpoint.
Amazing. How has your understanding of the potential risks and consequences of non-compliance with HIPAA improved since becoming a client?
Yeah, since talking with Roger and becoming a client, um, I I understood that there were quite a few risks and potential issues that could arise, but I through them and through the process of going through those things, it helped identify some additional risks that I had not considered and look at fixing those risks and implementing processes and pieces in to reduce that risk at a minimum.
What aspects of Carosh's support do you find most valuable or memorable?
Very responsive, very good at breaking things down in a manageable, understanding layman's terms. I don't always need layman's terms, but it does help for me to relate sometimes to be able to put it in ways that I do have an IT and a security background, but not to the HIPAA area. So that's helping me relate uh, those things and do that. But just in all the conversations with Roger and Stephanie, they've been great and have been very helpful in many different areas. So
Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to rate Carosh on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 1 being the least or worst, and 5 being the most or best. Carosh project personnel adhere to professional conduct.
5.
Why?
You have to make it hard now.
Sorry.
Though they having experience and to provide, um, they're always forthcoming and straight to the point. You need this, you have to have this, you need this. All all communications been professional and timely, even when I'm not timely. they're good at following up and help me stay on task and to get my pieces done as well. So that would be
Great. Carosh project personnel act in my best interest.
5. I think. Go ahead. You're going to say
And then why?
they evaluate your everybody is separate, everybody's different, all programs are different, nobody can be treated um, as the same as everybody else. So I think they understand we're a small business and trying to do those things, and they focused in on that and ensured that the solution was relative to our needs at that for the program.
Hey, overall, I'm very satisfied with Carosh.
5.
And then why?
Um, Again, everything they've done has been great to help us get there. Where we were lacking in so many areas as far as policies and procedures to identify very specific portions that would help us in the case of a breach, or if we needed to discuss with our customers anything. They've been very forthcoming, open, and helpful in all of those areas. So yeah.
Carosh project personnel are well trained.
4. Why?
Yeah, and then why?
Um, Only a 4 because I do research to see what they are, and I've had no issues. I did not look so much into, what specific training do they have. I don't know the level, all the specificities for training and different pieces that they've all had. Although obviously resume and the performance speaks highly. It's probably more than a 4, but I guess I didn't ask for transcripts and certification, written certifications, all of those things. But my research is why I went by.
Yeah, that makes sense. Carosh's customer service personnel are personalized, quick, and effective.
5.
Why?
Because like I said, I get busy. I have many other responsibilities with our company, and I I find myself down 14 rabbit holes a day, and everybody that I've interacted with has been understanding and given the latitude, but firmly reminded me that I had responsibilities and I needed to look at something, or I needed to review something, or reminded me that we had a phone call or discussion. So yeah,
Relative to other customer service experiences, where would you rank Carosh?
probably a 5.
Good. I actually wasn't given a why after this one.
Yes.
So, okay, back to some regular questions now. Would you recommend Carosh to others interested in HIPAA compliance?
Yes.
If so, why?
Probably for the same reasons I stated earlier. I feel that they've been thorough, they've been helpful. If you have existing policies in place, they would be able to review those and offer suggestions to improve those, and to help guide your processes to help protect your business.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience with Carosh or implementing a compliance program?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions about HIPAA Suite, if that's all right. What specific features or functions of the software have been most valuable to you in managing HIPAA compliance?
Just the documentation portion of it, just a centralized area where you can manage your compliance and your training, all the different pieces that go into that. It's just a nice, easy to access place.
How would you rate the overall user experience of our software, including its interface and ease of use?
5, very easy to use. Interface was simple, clean, from that's what we do software. So understanding the user and being able to make an environment that is not convoluted with a lot of extra menus and pieces on there. I felt it pretty easy to navigate, helpful.
Would you recommend our HIPAA compliance software to other organizations? And if so, why?
Yes, the company was looking for a central place again, to central place to keep track and to help control and manage your HIPAA compliance program. I think it'd be very helpful and useful to be able to have a tool like that.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience using our software for HIPAA compliance?
No,
Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to ask you to rate HIPAA Suite on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 1 being the least and 5 being the most.
uh,
So overall, I'm very satisfied with HIPAA Suite, and why?
5. It seems very thorough. It captured everything we needed for the most part on there. Not for the most part, but everything that I'm aware of, not being an expert in it. Ease of use and all that make it a very valuable tool to be able to get in and out of and to manage the program with. So
HIPAA Suite support personnel sorry, let me re-say that. HIPAA Suite support personnel are well trained, and why?
um, I guess 5, 4, 5. We didn't have. I mean, I almost would be NA. We didn't have a lot of issues, so everything was set up easy to get, easy to manage, easy to go. I didn't have anything else that we needed to do, so we didn't have a whole lot of interaction with needing support for it. So
Okay, so that's kind of similar to the next one, which is HIPAA Suite's customer services quick and effective.
right, so that'd be a 5, and because we didn't have any problems. So if you don't have any problems, great customer support.
Great. Okay, and our very last question is relative to other customer service experiences. Where would you rank Carosh's support of HIPAA Suite?
5.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Charlie. Those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do one of these testimonials.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Yeah.